WF representing Palace, so let's tell you about Palace. Rolling straight to the ceiling, crowns and crystals, top flight journeys, dishing out malice. Hold up, South London's grandest, far from bandits. Anything earned for a goal of elevation, just passing the team over here might finish out bright future, we can't vanish. SE25 any day, that's sellers. Rev up the engines, no more reverse reactions, fan cams, bands on stream. Share up the team, support the dream team when Eagles fly, make noise and scheme. Dare to dream or dream to dare, taking a step to become supreme.
Oh, he's gone.
Oh, well then.
Anyway, yes, guys, welcome back to Eagle-Eyed Football and welcome back to the Crystal Palace match reaction for our game that we just played on the weekend. Crystal Palace 2, Manchester City 2. And you know what? If you would have said to me before a ball was kicked, you're going to get a point from this game, we'd be going, hey, a 0-0 draw. I'll take it. But no, scored 2 goals. May or may not have let in some 2 pretty easy goals. But still, coming away from that game, potentially thinking, we should have won that, you know. I would have never thought I would have said that against Manchester City. But we're sitting here now. But Mr. Nippend himself is back.
There we go. Oh dear.
Are you okay, mate? He literally kicked himself out the second that I hit the intro.
It wasn't me. My laptop screen went black.
Proper
oh, crap, it's happened again. It's happened again.
Oh dear.
Proper.
Hey, good evening, and thank you for that great introduction. Yes, it was 2-2. Really, really happy with the point. Disappointed not all getting a free, but we'll break that down in further detail. JC, how's it going, mate?
I'm good. Like I said, maybe about 30 seconds earlier, I'm coming away from that game thinking we should have won. But if you would have told me that we would have gotten a point before a ball was kicked, I would be feeling very, very different right now.
100%.
And
Nikki,
also
how's it going, mate?
Look at skin fade. Jeez. How
How
Let's appreciate the fresh cut there.
Appreciate the skin fade.
Yeah, as JC said, if you had offered me a point before the game started, yeah, I mean, I'm pretty glad because I got this on predictions spot on, so I'm happy about that. Yeah.
How you done that, by the way?
Man City don't like playing us. Very rarely have we seen like games that have gone their way. Like we had that one game in recent memory where Haaland did a madness. But other than that, Pep does not like Palace. Yeah, great game. Absolutely great game. The goals were well deserved for us. And I think we were definitely due 3 points, but hey, a point, take it, especially what we've got coming up in this month.
No, exactly. Look, we probably came into this game thinking, yeah, we've beaten Ipswich, much needed 3 points. The next 3 games, potential write-off. I say potential because obviously, like, you hope to obviously pick up points here or there, but honestly, getting that point yesterday was key. But let's get right to it. Do you know what's crazy? We kicked off, and within the first 30 seconds, we were in their area. You know, and I think that is what set the tone for how we were going to approach this game. And it took a long ball. I think it had a little bit of a flick on, and Mateta's battling with Diaz in the box. You know, and then I thought to myself, yes, just keep. I said it loud in the stadium, and JC went, I'll be transparent. I'm not ashamed of myself. I did immediately go, no diddy. But I said,
bearing in mind they
don't like our long balls.
The upper Holmesdale was rammed, yeah? And my guy, I'm going to pause, no diddy, whatever. My guy was like, yeah, they don't like our long balls, do they? And I went, the fling of their head was crazy. And
how you didn't get whiplash?
I've got a headache now, I'm not going to lie.
Days.
I was like, oh, crap.
I was like, ain't no way my guy just said that. And then the second I knew that my dad was laughing at that as well, I was like, nah, there's no way. There's no way. But it's a wild statement, but you wasn't wrong.
In the footballing sense, I wasn't wrong. In the footballing sense, and I think it's something that we just kept doing time and time, and they hated it. You know, obviously, I don't know, Nicky. You haven't done me and you haven't done our play ratings, which we'll do obviously later on in the stream. But I have mentioned who my MOM is, so don't mention it yet. But my MOM was very, very, very influential in that first goal, and it actually came from we had that initial chance. Then City had the ball for good 2 minutes. It was like, gee, and it was just like left, then right, and left, then right. And then we built up quite a few 1-2s where it's like headers and volleys, kind of 1-2s and stuff. And it breaks to Hughes. And JC made a statement yesterday. He said the statement before we got home. I think I kind of copyrighted it on Fancam. If I did, I'm sorry. But he was spot on. If Kevin De Bruyne makes that pass, people are eulogizing over it. Like, you're all right.
I really just sprayed some compressed air in my eye. In this one.
What is going on?
Are you classifying that as a hate crime?
Yeah, it's racism. But the thing is, if De Bruyne makes that pass, we're never hearing the end of it. But because Hughes made that pass, no one's chatting about it apart from us. Seriously, no one's saying anything about it.
It was a ridiculous pass. And big up Mateta as well, because his awareness to just move out of the way, knowing he's in an offside position, you know. And then we're thinking, wait, hold on. And granted, Ortega should have said, we didn't care. We didn't care. Nicky, your thoughts on that great start to the game yesterday?
I think we're being realistic. I think we're guilty of taking advantage of City's poor form. Obviously, they got their win in the midweek. We're the more fresher team by, granted, 24 hours of football, but it's still a decent amount of time between our game against Ipswich and their game against Forest. We started obviously the better, and I think our player of the match is definitely going to be exactly the same. I think it's everyone's, and how that particular player wasn't given the actual award itself because of the match, and it got given to somebody else because one player played his heart out and the other one has been missing for God knows how many weeks and just gets a rubber goal. Whoop-de-doo. Anyway, the amazing start is clinical. We don't see that from Palace. We never start the better, or at least I can't remember the last time we started the better, especially against an opponent that is far superior to us. So yeah, the pass in question that leads to the opening goal, I think, is superb and something I would never have expected from Will Hughes. Never. But yeah,
To be fair,
amazing.
I didn't even celebrate. I was certain that Munoz was offside.
I thought he was offside as well. I said it to the person behind me.
I didn't even celebrate. The second the goal went in, I was like this. Offside. I didn't even celebrate it. And then when the VAR said, "No, it's good," I started celebrating. Everyone else was quiet.
It's a bit more on Hughesy. He was such a standout. He started dribbling from his own half, literally taking players on and stuff. I think the one
Hughesy, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
Lionel Hughes.
I think the only criticism of Hughes' game yesterday is there's times where he could have shot and he didn't. You know, but apart from that, great game. Look, we always knew that City were going to have bags of possession and stuff, but I think we coped with it well. The only times where they threatened us is when we couldn't block off the passing line into Haaland, because what De Bruyne was doing was very clever. He was meant to be playing as one of the midfield three, but what he did is he placed himself either next to Haaland or just in front of him. So that pass will come into Haaland, and then Haaland will set it to De Bruyne like a 1-2. And that kind of it was kind of the build up to the chance that Henderson saved, which I didn't realize he saved with his face
Yeah.
until I saw the replay. And I think that was the only way City were going to score, minus the mistake we made for the first one, but was cutting us through. Do you think that's something that, considering we had 3 at the back, do you think that's a bit of a concern for us, JC? That I know they're a quality side, but with 3 at the back, surely we should be able to cut any sort of chances through the middle.
I don't think so. I feel like, if anything, we're a little bit more susceptible to it, because obviously chances through the middle, you'd say that Haaland's only one guy running in to 3 defenders. But what I would then say to you is, if De Bruyne's dropped into the midfield to make that chance for Haaland to have a run, we only have 2 midfielders. And they already had 3 with De Bruyne dropping back as well. So if you look at it in that way, they had a 4 versus 2 in their favour in the middle. So I don't think that we are really able to stop that kind of move. Granted, we might have more than one person going to mark Haaland, but if I'm honest, that pass that he laid into Haaland, I'm actually very surprised De Bruyne didn't shoot himself, because he had so much time literally just outside the box. We've seen him score from there many, many times. Obviously, it was a great pass, but I wouldn't have been surprised if he shot. And the thing is because they have that overload in the middle, he had acres of space because our other 2 were trying to pick up other 2 people, and there was still 2 people free that he could have passed to potentially. So I think purely because of our formation, I don't think we can really stop things going through the middle. I think we're actually more suited to stopping the wide play, because we're going to have lots of players out wide. Our centre back and our full back can drift out, and we'll still have players in the middle. That's where I think we're the best. But because of how Glasner plays our front 3, I think if we made our 2 10s a bit more narrow, then we'd have a 5-4-1 kind of formation, which is sort of what we tried against Spurs, and we actually did a lot better. But I think the only way we get our attacking output better is if we do go a little bit wider. So it's just risk reward in my eyes. I don't think we could really stop, especially a team like Manchester City, from going through the middle. Like, it's almost impossible to stop Kevin De Bruyne. But I thought we did a good job of it, because we didn't man mark, we marked the passing lanes, and the amount of times that De Bruyne tried to play a nice pass, and Hughes in particular blocked out some of Kevin De Bruyne's passes. Like, in other games where we would have gone man to man, that ball would have just cut right through our team. But because we were playing that slightly different style, where we're cutting out lanes instead of marking the man, we were cutting out De Bruyne's passes, and we were actually getting counterattacks off of a De Bruyne pass, which is something that never happens.
Yeah. And before we talk about the equaliser, I think that was a good point, because funny enough, there was a fan behind me. I don't know if directly behind him, but he kept shouting, "Come on, keep working harder, work hard." And in my head, I'm thinking, you don't want to press a team like City. Granted, there was some joy when we pressed and we were able to nick it. But if you do that too often, they will just find another way to get through you. And what we don't want is the De Bruynes and the Silvers running in that direction towards our goal, rather have them passing it around trying to find the pocket. But they did get an equaliser. And this is now an interesting point, because I think there's 3 mistakes in this. No, well, 2 definite. One I'm knowing about. Now, you know what? Me and JC spoke before the game, and we were like, "Oh yeah, we don't mind that Nunez is out wide. I don't think that's his best position." I'll put my hands up and say he had a decent game yesterday. He actually had everything that City were trying to build, whether through De Bruyne or through Nunez. But I think Nunez was just a bit too standoffish. I think it was a bit too easy for the cross to come in. Now, here's where I'm a bit like, I think there was just a lack of communication between Henderson and Gay, because Henderson bombs out and stops.
I disagree. I think Henderson royally messed it up.
No, that's what I said. That's what I said with the Gray thing. That's the potential 3rd mistake. Nunez and Henderson are the 2. 1,000,000%. I'm just trying to look back at, did Gay have a late call? Like, what was it? But Henderson bombs out, and he didn't need to, because, like we said, the wind played a factor, and it was quite a lofted cross. Even though it had a bit of zip to it with the wind, it was quite lofted. And Haaland didn't even, he just let it hit his head, you know. And if Hendo was on his line, he catches that,
Hmm.
you know. So it's just a bit disappointing because I thought, minus obviously, I think it was Gundogan who hit the post from a
Mhm.
volley, which was unlucky. I think we defended so well.
Then again, though, from that fun that came off the post, if Savinho had a right foot, that's a goal.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, he tried to cut back into his left, yeah,
If,
and
if
then
he had
shot
a right
well
foot
wide.
and just hit it, it's a goal. Just on target, it's a goal. But I think what I would say to maybe, I wouldn't say making an excuse to get Mark out of trouble here, but I would say that Mark had to backpedal quite a lot to actually get in a position to even challenge for the header. So if he's running away from the ball and Haaland's already in position, obviously Haaland's going to get above him. So I wouldn't even blame Mark for that at all, really. He's just trying to cover, he's just trying to put a challenge in and make it harder for Haaland. But really, I think Henderson misjudged the cross, didn't think it was going to carry as far as it did, thought it was going to drop short and he was going to come and catch it. But then when he realised it carried over, that nothing else you could do from there.
yeah. I agree on that one. I think it is one part communication, other part is Henderson's positioning, which I know we haven't actually had cause to speak on it a lot lately because Henderson has been putting in amazing good performances, and he has pulled off some amazing saves. But I think this time he has to kind of hold his hands up and be like, no, that should have been. He should trust his defenders. And it's a good point from you, JC. His body was not in the right position to have challenged Haaland like that.
Funny enough, you know what? We'll come back to you, Nicky, about this. Before they even got the equaliser, there were some half chances.
There
Now,
was
the
some
reason I say
chances, yeah.
half chances is because I will give City credit. Some of their blocking was unbelievable.
No,
Like
it's one player in particular, it's Ruben Diaz.
Diaz.
Ruben Diaz, yeah.
These blocks were like fair
Yeah.
play. You know, but you look at SAR's one that he skirted over the bar. Lerma was unlucky when Mateta set it to him. And I think Mateta did the right thing. There wasn't enough pace on the cross for Mateta to generate enough power to a shot. So he laid it off to Lerma and it just had a block. Mitchell got down the line, crossed it in, blocked. Does so many blocks.
Mhm.
Like, do you feel disappointed that we didn't take any of those chances, or you just think, listen, this part and parcel of the game?
I think it's part and parcel of the game. This is Ruben Diaz we're talking about. Like all the other 19 fan bases know he is an amazing defender, and I will just highlight just him. I won't just highlight the entire City defense because I think they were shaky. But if we're just talking about Ruben Diaz and his influence on just not only the defense but the game, he puts in a performance that keeps City in that game. Like in any other team, you might say that like Lerma's shot might have actually found its way in the back of the net, or it might have challenged the goalkeeper. So Ortega could actually sit back and be like, no, do you know what? Diaz has got this. I can trust him, and reaps the rewards of that amazing performance.
Absolutely. JC, let's hit some comments till we talk second off.
Chairman saying big up Animal, big up Damo, big up Tim, strong performance, could have had all three. Big up Tiddles. We got our second goal too early. I knew they'd get another. Have some empathy. Have some class. Diaz had a very good game for them, and in my own preserved the draw. Diaz was their saviour. I think Hendo was our saving Haaland's effort with his head. JC must be on the Ray Nephews again. I haven't drunk. Spray for spray. Hughesinho potentially. Yeah, Walker was playing him on. He's absolutely brilliant. You can hear someone in the squad. He's had a more consistent impact for us this season. I'd say it's a toss-up between him and Mateta with who Glasner's improved more.
JP's home record for us is
Oh,
stupid.
14 goals in 14 games at home. That is crazy.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And then 19
was it-
shots on target. That's mental.
Was this the 15th game or was it that the 14th game?
This is the 14th game.
Yeah.
So he's bar for bar at the moment. At
Either
Selhurst.
way, that is just it's stupid.
Mhm. On the screen, it's a different perspective. To compare shots that got blocked, I think it was very aggressive
usage.
and appropriately
That's it.
so.
He's
Earth is saying,
sensation.
Atri, get hit me with a hairdryer. Please don't, I'll be too loud. I think Gay needs to disrupt the header a bit better, but Elements part in Henderson's misjudgment. I don't really think Gay could do much better. He's sort of jumping backwards into the player anyway. But, you know, Hendo didn't make one of those crazy Onana mistakes. Damn. Interesting to hear what you got to say. Think about Eze. For me, he looks relaxed. I don't know why. Don't get me wrong, he's a quality player, but just looks soft. There's no need to pause that one.
No, there's no pause.
I think we're going to talk about Eze a little bit later because I think he had lack of Rich, you know how on clubs say lack of confidence up front? That's Eze. That's Eze. Onana had a howler. That was faint left to avoid Diaz. You know what? In my opinion, I can't blame Lerma for taking that shot. The shot got set to him. It was just an amazing block from Diaz.
Yeah.
And really and truly, if Diaz doesn't make that block, that goes in. Big up Leonat Brands. Hi, everyone. Yesterday was a good game. Led the game twice. I mean, should have won, but I think it's always a good point or a win. I think Eze has been poor to selfish. He should have scored.
The one that he was offside, I was so, even if I don't care if he just score and let VAR deal with that, all the lines would do with it. My gosh, it was weight of pass was brilliant. He takes a touch, then another touch, then another touch, and another touch. It just closes down the whole space. Sorry, continue.
The dog said JC's Goose and SC actually started all but one of Millwall's games. I don't think he played that much, but because I didn't really hear much from him, but okay. Respect the point. Even City get ancient. Still a team winning the Premier League last season, 6 in a row as well. Or I don't even know if it's 6 in a row, but a hell of a lot. Is it 5 in a row, right?
4 in a row.
4 in a row.
It's still unbelievable.
Mhm.
And Animal says we need to talk about Eddie and Ketia as well.
We will do.
We don't have to.
Second half. Now we came out, and it seemed as if we were a little bit passive the first 10 minutes, you know, and that was worrying because we just know of City's quality. I'm also going to big up that's Max, by the way, not for his goal, but when you hear in the player ratings, he kept Haaland quiet, absolutely quiet. But when we did end up getting a bit of possession, and you know what? Credit Sarr and Mateta. Look, Sarr had a very good first half, a bit quiet in the second, but they've got an understanding now. And my goodness me, Sarr, as an outlet, just works. It just works for us. It allows defenders to drop off because they're worried about his pace. And I think Mateta's hold-up plays getting better. His work rate's getting, his fitness is getting better as well. Remember, we used to just scream at him because he would just stand around and do nothing.
Yeah.
Or he'll do 2 sprints and he'll be knackered. You know, his fitness has got up. You know, so yeah, it seemed a bit slow, but then we got that corner, and I tell you what a peach of a cross that was. And
Will Hughes, my friends, Will Hughes,
right in like by the 6-yard box. I mean, I guess from a City point of view, you can think, wait, why didn't the keeper not come up for that? And who decided to leave Lacroix alone in the 6-yard box? Criminal, but a very, very towering header.
Well, you know who is technically at fault for both goals?
It was Walker.
Kyle Walker played onside Munoz. Kyle Walker didn't challenge Lacroix at all.
Listen, Kyle Walker. When I saw him in the lineup, I was like, "We're getting something from this."
Kyle
He
Walker, and he's
stinks.
captain as well. He stinks.
You know, but look, Lacroix deserved something, you know. And I don't know if you've seen his post-match interview. He was open and honest. Said, "I should have scored last week. I should have scored against Ipswich. So I'm happy to get my goal now, but I've got to be taking my chances." You know. And on that note, JC, our back three have 4 goals in the league.
Hmm.
That's pretty impressive.
Well, I think when we were going through, I think before the season actually started, when we actually got Chalobah and Lacroix in, I'm sure in the first stream back, I said, this, for some reason, this team reminds me of that Thomas Tuchel team where they had Chalobah, I think, was it Chalobah, Rudiger, and Christiansen, I think it was in the back. And their centre backs were the top scorers in their whole team. And I'm sure I said something along the lines of this team just reminded me of that. But
Incredible.
it's good to know that we've been so rubbish at set pieces to now have players that can score from set pieces I wouldn't semi often as well. So Mark can, because the thing is Mark scored a few goals, but he's also assisted a few as well. He assisted Munoz's goal against
Yeah.
Newcastle. That was a great cross, and we sort of saw him taking up that position where a right back normally or where a left back normally should be. But because he's right footed, he can whip in an in swinger from that angle. And I don't actually think that Nick Pope was used to a cross coming in like that. And that must have been something that was worked on because Munoz was trying that run all game against Newcastle.
Yeah.
But I think that as an outlet, I think our centre backs are amazing. I think that there's an argument to say that I think even our centre backs are the best dribblers on our team right now. Because I think Mark's probably one of our best dribblers in the squad. Chalobah can be when he wants to.
He was very good at that second half yesterday.
Yeah.
Carrying the ball in the second half.
Lacroix, I wouldn't say he's very good at dribbling, but his pace just makes up for it.
Yeah.
There's the stat there from Tim. 29% of all of our goal output so far this season. It's
and the thing is that stat also shows how toothless we are up front as well. We've only scored 14 goals this year.
Absolutely. Obviously, we know Munoz now has got 2 goals as well to his name. I think he's got about 2 or 3 assists too. But there's one player I want to highlight for our back 5 who in the last 2 games has just been so much more higher up the pitch. And I think that's really helped with our balance. Nicky, talk to us about a bit more about Mitchell and the subtle change that's been made. 'Cause obviously, we noticed that when we did the watch along for Ipswich.
Yeah, defensively very, very solid in this game. Bombing down the left hand side. I mean, we watched it. We were watching the Ipswich game earlier in the week, and we were highlighting exactly how he was playing. Tons of overlaps more. He's really settling more into this wing back role where you do see him overlapping with whomever may be playing on that left hand side, just above in the midfield or in the attack, and he's sending in crosses almost on a constant basis. I think we noted that Eze's lack of confidence. Let's say, well, it's the exact reverse with Tyrick Mitchell. It's an abundance of confidence. He seems to be trusting himself a lot more, and he's reaping these rewards with great performances. And the crowd, certainly the fans at the ground and then viewers at home, are certainly highlighting this. I feel like he's in his richest vein of form probably for the longest time, because he gets into the starting 11 almost every single time. Like there is no one who can challenge for this position that he's got there.
Is that
And
because he's our only left back? Why no one can challenge him?
I think he's gotten comfortable because he's been able to be like, no, don't worry. Maybe he's guilty of this, that he can say, oh, I'm assuredly going to be in this lineup because I am Palace's only left back. But I think today, or rather yesterday, we saw for the second time this week just how well he's really come along in this formation using these tactics that Glasner has implemented this season.
Absolutely. I mean, look, he still needs to work on his crossing, but
Yeah, the crossing
him
is
just him just being high up the field just gives us an extra person to pass to.
Mhm.
You know,
But
fair play to him when he did get the ball and he made the pass inside. He made a few passes directly into the box. I tell you what, though, Eze doesn't trust him at all, and it's actually annoying. Like, it is so annoying. Just use him as an outlet. Yes, we know his crossing ain't great, but at least one of two things will happen. At least we can recycle the ball, or we can create a chance from it. But my goodness me, I think Mark fizzed it to him a few times. Lacroix found him a few times. Chalobah did cross full ball, but Ebbs never passed to him. It's mad. I don't know what I'm shouting. So I'm just so annoyed with it at the moment. I'm so annoyed with Eze at the moment. Yeah. Let's hit some more comments, JC. Then we'll open the line. So if anyone wants to join us with the play ratings, they can. All right, that's it.
we need to talk about Eze a bit more as well.
I
And
know,
also
yeah.
someone that I thought played all right, but they still had their moments in the game as well. And I think we need to talk about Chalobah a little bit.
I guess we'll do that when you give them the play ratings.
Mhm.
Discuss it then.
Used to have the Edouard or Mateta debate.
Yeah, that debate's over.
Well, Leicester want to get rid of him now. And we said, and Glazer said, well, if he's not playing for you, why the hell would he play for us? But I will always stand by this. When they played together, they were sick.
Yes.
But we just never played them together. That was the problem. Think about what happens when Sar starts driving defenders back, leaving the middle for Husey and Wharton. Big up Mikey, setting up the Palace. Gay doing that Kleiny underlap from last season, yes, but doing it on the other side. But to be fair, Mark normally does that anyway, but instead of running without the ball, he normally runs with the ball. So it's a slight change of how he's doing it, but it still works. We can score with our defenders, seem to not have an issue with our forward players. My point on Hendo being in the combined 11 over Pope ain't so crazy now. I don't think it was, if I'm honest. Statman Tim, justice for Tariq. I think there's an improvement, but there's only a certain ceiling that Mitchell can reach for us in that wing back role. I don't think he's good enough on the ball, and I think he's too one-footed to be a very high level fullback or wing back for us.
You know what's crazy? If we got a more attacking wing back in against the Arsenals, the Cities, the tops, you play Tyreek because he gives that defensive cover. But against the teams around us that we should be attacking, play a more attacking-minded wing back.
Well, we said it at full time, didn't we? We said, look, this team is 2 players away from being something special again. And even though we've lost Michael, it's still not too far away. I would say that there's definitely a caveat in there that you've got to get Eze playing again. You get a left wing back, and you maybe get someone a little bit more technical than Sarr, because now I can't even dream about dropping Sarr because he's been so good as an outlet. I wouldn't even want to put him on the bench because that's how much his pace means to how we play.
The creative side to it is lacking.
Yeah, but you even then, if you pick someone else to then play for Eze, maybe if you put Eze on the bench, say, look, big man, if you don't fix up, my man's going to play ahead of you, and then have that person who can also play on the other side as well.
Justin Devaney is getting a lot more minutes. He's getting a lot more minutes. Keep going, Jason. I'm just dropping a link in.
Yeah. Seeing Eze didn't trust Mitchell in the game. What a shame. He was a good attacking position against Manchester City. Big up Seki, thank you very much. Feel like Eze doesn't trust Ty, shows it on the pitch. Mark licked out of Mitchell more than Ebbs. This is all true. No 1-2s on the left until it's Mark getting up high on the pitch.
This is it, yeah.
Ebbs is the only one in the team. I don't get it. How was Eddie and Ketia? Dead. Eddie
Yeah,
and Mateta
we'll get into
versus
that.
Wolves.
Yeah.
But even then, Nketiah played on the right.
Yeah.
Sluggish at times, too long on the ball. JP's work rate is intense. What would you say if you're the gaffer if Eddie asked you to start? I would a
Tell him
great
the Carabao Cup's coming around the corner.
a great philosopher said in I don't know if you guys have seen it, but you know on Palace's TikTok they had a meme which I thought was hilarious of Mateta scoring. You know when he dashed Jacob Greaves to the floor, they had a sound effect there, and I would say that sound effect to Eddie Nketiah. Move, man.
Oh man.
Links in the chat, and Animals talk about Camardinho out of position and Nketiah to get why we bring Kamada on in a 10 for last 10 minutes and then have Eddie on up front. Parish is
Actually,
looking
that's
for
the thing.
the
Yeah,
receipt.
I agree with Animal there in the sense of there's no point of playing Eddie. Just play someone in the right position because you're effectively no matter what you feel about Kamada, him playing in the 10 position is better than Eddie and Nketiah playing in the 10 position.
Mm-hmm.
That's just because like, Eddie came on and oh my gosh, we were on a break. My goodness me, his touch, which is everything.
He literally passed it to Gvardiol, didn't he?
It was so everything was so bad. So don't forget, this was when they were down to 10 men as well. So a potential break to get the league. And I think some of our breaks of decision in the final third just needs to be a bit better. You know, I think Mateta took one off Ebbs where if it was Ebbs driving and Mateta making a run rather than Mateta driving the ball, and because Ebbs could make that final pass where Mateta didn't and stuff. Just quickly before we add Tim in, I just want to speak about City's second goal. You know, a lot of people have chimed in on Chalobah in this, and I've watched it back. Here's where I'm going to give him some grace. You mentioned something very key earlier on, JC, about them having 4 players in that midfield. And I think as that ball went into Bernardo Silva, none of our midfielders were there. And Chalobah's instinct went, I've got to get close to him, which unfortunately left the gap. So it's a catch-22. Should he have held position and let Bernardo Silva turn and shoot? We don't know. But listen, I'm not going to take anything away from Rico Lewis's finishes, by the way. What a guy. To bins it from corner, from inside the box is crazy.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I would definitely say that I think that Chalobah's decision making there probably wasn't the best because I think that it's all got to be like shot, like the difficulty of the shot, and the shot from outside the box is definitely a lot harder than making that pass and then Lewis basically having the whole goal to aim at. Granted, Lewis's finish was still good, but to be fair, that a finish of that kind was so unnecessary in that position.
It was rude, didn't it? Just throw it into the corner and let's just move on.
Yeah,
he said, "No, I'm
binsing it with a finesse as well." It's crazy, but I would say that Chalobah has got an issue with ball watching. If he sees someone with the ball turned towards his own goal, if there's not someone else there, he will step out of that line and he will make a challenge. And every single time he's done that for the last few games, they've played the ball past him and he's left the person he's marking. In my eyes, if you're going man for man with someone, you don't leave them to go get the ball. You let someone else do it.
Yeah. You know what's funny? I think all 3 of our centre backs are guilty of doing that.
Mm-hmm. But I do think that's as you said, it's a catch-22 because I think that's actually how Glasner wants us to play.
Yeah.
We want our centre backs to be aggressive and make them split-second decisions. But the only way that decision is a good decision is if Munoz was tucked in, but Munoz was still trying to pin back one of their midfielders. So it is what it is. But I would say that I think that the whole goal starts a little bit earlier because it all started from the drop ball, didn't it? The ball hits the ref. The ref drops the ball about 10 yards outside of our box, which is already pretty much a free kick position. I think De Bruyne passes it to the side, and no, it wasn't De Bruyne. I think Gundogan passed it to De Bruyne, and Eze just followed him around. He didn't even try and make a challenge. And then De Bruyne had so much time, he literally turned around. Eze just sort of walked around following him, and he passed it inside to Silva. And then what happened. So you could say Eze not putting enough intensity in this press. That could have stopped the goal as well. So, a lot of mistakes, really.
And this is spot on. Chalobah was in a lose-lose. And this is why when I watched it back, I thought, oh, actually, you know what? This is harsh on Chalobah to an extent because he's now in a lose-lose situation because of the domino effect. If he didn't close him down, it could have been a problem. But he did close him down and there was a problem. So I think we just got to kind of be a bit better as a unit. Which let's bring in Tim and let's talk Eze, talk Nketiah, do the player ratings, and enjoy our Sunday evening. Don't worry, Tim, you're not going to be in the player ratings. I know you don't like him.
Excellent.
He's going to be in
Excellent.
Anyway.
I'll just say justice for Tyreek, but you're not wrong. But I will maintain I'm right that if he gets his crossing, if he improves his crossing, I think he's nailed on for England. I mean, how much longer do you think Kyle Walker's left back, or right back? Sorry, but I think he's in that squad. If the way he's playing, he's good. He's a good defender. If he can get his crossing right, can he not make that squad?
Yeah, Lewis Hall and Livermore.
Lewis Hall will be next.
Yeah, that's a good shout. All right, well,
I like the idea.
No, you're not wrong.
Lewis Hall should have been ours. I'll say that.
That's true. Yeah, Lewis Hall is good. Yeah, that sucks. Sucks we missed out on him.
Let's talk Eberechi Eze.
Ugh. Poor guy, man. He needs a goal. That he looks like a man that is desperate for a goal. Desperate. And his head is hanging. Like his intensity is great immediately after we score. And he's hunting and he's like, all right, my time is coming. I'm gonna get a goal. And then it's not coming. And now it drops. And his performances have not been, I think it's fair to say he's been inconsistent. I think he's not I'm not talking about his goal scoring. I'm talking about his energy and intensity and just focus on the pitch. He's great in some moments. And then I'm not going to say he goes to sleep, but his intensity drops. And and that, I think that's one of the cardinal sins for Oliver Glasner. You cannot do that. He demands it. He demands intensity. I think that's why we're seeing more of Devaney, because we get lots of intensity from Justin Devaney.
Well, this is it. The last two games have been taken off in the 65th minute for a youth player. And I can tell it's burning him. But maybe that's a kick up the backside he needs.
Yeah.
Because especially yesterday's game.
It hasn't really worked.
Yeah. Especially yesterday's game, Nicky. If he plays quicker, dare I say, we can get potentially 3 or 4 more chances.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're spot on, Rich. I think he finds himself in these positions, but then we've said I don't know, I can't remember for how many times in a row we've said this. He takes 1, 2, 3 too many touches for no reason. He can just fire a shot, or he can send a pass or cross the ball, and yet his decision making just seems to let him down on a near constant basis. And I don't know what's going on inside of his head, but something is lacking there. And for the longest time, we've seen it for the majority of this season. And it's now, how long do you persist with Ebbs in the starting 11? Because he's going to take 1 touch too many in another game. Say if he does it in the next game, which is a critical game for us, we miss a chance, and then say the opposition go ahead and score a goal from that, the fan base will be slanting him for it. Glasner's just going to lose confidence in choosing him on that side.
I don't think you can put Eze on the bench for the pure fact that he has I think he's probably the only one in that whole team that's got the ability to produce that little bit of magic to get a goal out of nothing. So I don't think that you can really get him off because all you have to do is look back to Tuesday, man. Like the shift and pass to Mateta to set the ball through. I don't think anyone else in that team is doing that. But the thing is he did that, as you said, because he wasn't hogging the ball, because he was playing the ball forwards quickly. Literally, that's the only tweak that Eze has to do to get himself cooking again. Because he can't be on the bench. He's worth too much, and he's too good to be on the bench. All it is attitude and mindset.
You also, I mean, to be fair, you don't play yourself into form from the bench. And that first 10 minutes was not vintage Eze, but it was good. It was faster. There were quick turns. There were attempts to cross the ball. They didn't come off, but he was moving quicker. And then he stopped moving quicker. And that's the problem.
Look, I'm not calling for Ebbs to be dropped. That's not my point. My point is how long can he keep? He does need a confidence boost, and you're right, Tim. He needs a goal.
He needs a goal.
He needs something to boost up his confidence. Unfortunately, that could also, that's a double-edged sword. I think we could keep hounding him to try and get his confidence up, and it's just going to get inside of his head more and more and more, and there'll be a mistake here and there. I think before the month is out, we will see his name on the score sheet, be that this weekend coming up, weekend after that. Doesn't matter, but I think he does need that moment of magic for himself, not to be on the not to be on the assist sheet. He needs to be on the goal sheet as a goal scorer, and that will just lift him up to cloud 9.
Right, just on this, and I'm going to say the same thing regarding Mark Gay. I don't think we should, especially in January. If we were like, let's say, 12th in the league and quite comfortable, then maybe you can consider that. We ain't safe yet. We're looking good. One defeat in 8 in all comps, but I don't think we should risk that at all, to be honest.
No,
I think that's honestly, I think that's a bit of a bad take, to be honest. I don't really think that is an eventuality at any point during this season. You'd have to start considering that in the summer. I think obviously the summer window just gone probably was his most opportune time if he wanted to leave. What with Elise going and all the talk about Gahey leaving as well.
I mean, let me just add to this. This is one of those things where Ebbs may not be playing great right now, but let's say you did sell him in January. What do you think that does to this team? It's not just about the quality. The guy is really well liked. In fact, he is the guy that helped bring in Eddie Nketiah. Like he is an instrumental part of the team.
That's going to help your cause there, Tim.
Not helping Tim.
I know, but look, but listen, like, you know, before that, so forget about Nketiah. Like but before that, like I thought Ebbs and Elise might be gone last season, but part of the reason that they weren't gone is because Ebbs kept Michael around. Like he's a really well-liked player. Like in the dressing room, there are just things that matter, and I think you have to give yourself time to cycle out of a player. I think he's gonna go. He probably goes in the summer. That's the right time to let a player like that who is popular and has a following at the club to go. January ain't it. That's poor. I wouldn't do it.
And also at this time right now, we need to be beefing up the squad instead of letting our best player go. And I do think that we already have our Eze replacement. He just can't stay fit. And that's a certain Brazilian by the name of Matheus França.
You think he's that good?
I think that the idea behind Matheus França was have him for 2 years to be the understudy to Ebbs,
Yep.
and then by then you'll be saying, "Oh man, who plays, Ebbs or him?"
Mm.
And then
Mm.
you let
No,
Ebbs go.
no word of a lie. He hasn't played much football for us, but whenever he's come on that pitch, something happens.
He's got the
Be-
pace for it. That's for sure.
He has got to be close to at least playing for the under-21s. I mean, if he can do
Except for
samba
the role
dance,
and risk him for that.
if he can,
Probably
if he
getting
no,
dropped
but
again.
let's be honest, if he can be doing samba dances with David Ozo in the dressing room, what is going on?
Yeah,
That's
some
my
people
question.
are confused with that. David Ozo came back for his injury treatment,
Yeah,
Rehab, yeah. We just
but
got
he'll be
the
going back to
facilities and
Derby
stuff.
soon.
So
but the point sounds like I'm hopeful that França can,
Yeah.
make his way in, but Glasner is, well, we've seen it. He's pretty ruthless.
I
He is.
wouldn't say that at all. I think when Glasner was actually there, he put on França at every moment that he was available.
Yeah.
Because pretty much all the clips, apart from the City clip and the Newcastle clip last year, every single clip of him was under Glasner, and he only played like 2 or 3 games under him before he got injured.
Didn't he also say something about I can't remember where I read this, but that when they do like the instruction, when they're sitting down and talking through the game plan, like he is the most active guy in the room, asking all the questions, getting really deeply involved, which Glasner loves.
Yeah, I think that's the same thing for Devaney as well, isn't it?
Probably,
Oh,
yeah.
that was incredible to see yesterday, by the way. For about 5
Yeah,
minutes.
can you explain that? Was this end of the match, Rich?
Yeah. So they're walking off. Glasner's got his arm around Devaney, just chatting to him. He just stops him and they're just having a chat. But it looks as if he was coaching him. You know, it was it was so wonderful to see. Whether or not, I don't know if Devaney was upset about himself, something with himself, or Glasner was saying, look, in this situation, try and do this, try and do whatever it was so good to see.
And
Glasner loves this. I can tell he loves our club. The board need to realize that and back him in January because we've actually got someone special,
Mhm.
you know. And we're not expecting him to stay forever, 2-3 years probably, but he can put us in a position where then whoever comes in can keep us that momentum going. We've already lost a lot of momentum by a crappy summer window. We need to pick that up, especially now that one defeat in 8. And bear in mind, we've played Newcastle, Villa, City,
Chelsea, Spurs.
like it's not bad, and
No,
we've not got the best of
great.
squads. You know,
Yeah, we've taken a lot of points against some
the big teams.
significant
Yeah,
sides. Yeah,
because I
for
think
sure.
the only top 8 side we've lost to is Liverpool.
And that was
So
only
far.
1-0.
Yeah, that sounds
And you
right.
saw how they beat City. You saw what they did to Arsenal.
And we had chances that game too. Don't get me wrong, they had chances too.
Yeah.
You know,
There's a poll in the chat saying who starts against Brighton, Eze or Devaney. Put your votes in. And in the meantime, we will go through and do the player ratings. So, Rich, you can orchestrate it. You yourself, Nikki, and Tim, do you want to be a part of this?
Sure, I'll do it.
There you go. Good man.
Tim.
I'll do it just for you.
All right, so the team is lined up
It's a
here.
good result.
Yeah, Rich, the team's lined up.
So
So Hendo first.
I'll do Dean Henderson. Pause.
Damn.
damn.
Hey, with
No
you two
comment.
around, I've got to be very careful.
No comment.
Right. I remember 7. If he didn't come out for that ball for the header, then I would have given him an 8. Because not only did he have that save where it hit his face, he clawed one out in the first half as well. I think it took a wicked deflection and he kind of clawed it out for a corner. So 7.
Tyreek
Nicky?
Mitchell.
Tyreek Mitchell. I'm happy to give him I'd say a 6. I think the crossing obviously does need a bit more work, and we spoke about that. But yeah, I'm quite happy with his performance.
Mark.
Hashtag justice for Tyreek. No, I'll give him a 7. I think Mark was solid, and I do like he's doing double duty. He's giving us some additional threat up that left side. I think he can obviously do a little bit better for the Holland goal, but he was solid. Just a solid performance.
Yeah. I mean,
Max
we'll go
Dennis
through this
Squire.
and then we'll decide if there's any more changes. Max, I'm going to give him an 8 because there's one person I know that's definitely getting a 9 from me. But solid game again. Kept Haaland quiet. Scored his first goal for the club as well. You
Made
know,
some great
he's
interceptions
fallen
in the
into
first half.
he's fallen into the Adam Wharton bracket where I'm now expecting it of him. So I'm like, can I give him more for what I expect? It's weird. Remember when Adam Wharton was like game in, game out? Yeah, standard 8. But yeah, 8
Chalobah.
for Max.
Chalobah, I'm going to give him a 5 because, as we noted again earlier, the second City goal, it is a lose-lose situation. When I saw that goal go in, I watched it back on the highlights. Then after, I was pretty. I understood. I watched the highlights back, and I saw that he had, choice of go forward for the ball or stay in position. I think, lose-lose situation, as we said. 5.
Daniel Munoz.
Gets a goal that Ortega should save. I thought he was very solid. I'll give him a 7. Which makes it all the weirder that Ty is a 6, but we'll come back to that.
Will Hines. What a guy.
9. Put him as number 9. If he scored himself, he would have got a 10. But 2 assists and just all round excellent performance.
Tim, are you proud of your son?
Very proud. He's unbelievable. Sign the man now. Sign him now. There's no downside to a 1-year extension. Even if David Ozo comes back, and you're putting Devaney into the rotation, let's say he doesn't go out on loan, what do you lose? Like in the summer, then do you sell him? At least you've protected a little bit of value. Come on. And even if he does not play because we're overloaded in the midfield, he is the guy who can naturally take over the Joel Ward role. And Wardy ain't coming back next season. Sign him now. Right now.
Next one, Jefferson Lerma.
Jefferson Lerma, I think a 7 as well. I think he had a much better second half than he did in the first. The first half, I was feeling pretty critical of him. I think he did certainly better in the second half. So yeah, quite happy with his performance in the second half rather than the first. So yeah, 7.
Mm-hmm. We'll take a quick break in the player ratings. The poll is who starts against Brighton. 69% saying Eze, nice, and 31% are saying for Justin Devaney out of 16 total votes. I will put another one in here now just before we carry on, saying who's been improved more under Oliver Glasner. Is it Will Hughes or is it JP? So let me do that now.
Oh, that is a difficult one to answer.
That's a good one. That's a good one. I don't know how I would answer that, to be honest, because I want to say Hughes, but I think it's verifiable that JP has been unbelievable.
Well, Tim, we're going next up. We're going with Eze.
Poor Ebbs. I mean, I think it's got to be. Is it going to be a 6 or it's going to be a 5? I'm going to say a 5. I'm going to say a 5 because the inconsistency is tough, because I can see, including in yesterday's match, that he is an obvious impact player. That first 10 minutes, he is driving, he's turning quickly, he's making attempts to cross the ball. When he's on it, we are going to be orders of magnitude more dangerous, but he's not on it right now. I want to see him get a goal. He needs a goal.
JP. Rich.
Oops, sorry, I was on mute. Good hold up play. Worked very, very hard, very tirelessly. I'm gonna give him a 7 only because when we finish this, there's someone going to bump up to an 8, from my personal opinion. But yeah, 7 for now.
Nikki, Ismail Assar.
I'm going to give him a 7 as well. I think he was brimming with confidence at especially pretty much throughout the rest of the game. He set up Mateta for a good chance in the first half that nearly opened up with a great opportunity. Second half makes a darting run and finds Eze with a great pass. Yeah, these last 2 games he's been absolutely. I just lost the word. I lost the adjective I was about to use with him. I just think he was pretty amazing.
Tim, your best friend, Eddie Nketiah.
You're not
You know
going
what,
to give me
Tim-
Justin
Tim-
Devaney?
Tim, I would do the Eddie Nketiah one. That is so harsh. How do you end up with
Done
Eddie
dirty.
Nketiah?
Done dirty.
Second, he gets the second sub, not the first sub, mate. He gets the second
is
sub, mate.
brutal.
Damn.
I thought it was the other way
Right.
around.
No, I think Devaney came on
All
first.
right, yeah, Rich, if you do this
Yeah.
one, then we'll get Tim to do Devaney.
All right, Eddie gets a 3. 2.
Yeah.
Sorry, there you go. 2. Yeah, 2. He gets a 2.
He's back on the bench.
And not rated.
Tim,
Um,
Justin Devaney.
I mean, he gets 20 minutes, and it's a good 20 minutes. He gets a 6. I don't think he can be higher than a 6, but he is, as he's been doing, he speeds up the play. He looks very composed. He's getting better with each game. He has clear standards. I did not know that Glasner and he were talking at the end of the match, but I feel he is very, very promising. He does look to turn and make the play progressive. I really like him. I think there's a lot of promise there. There's a player there.
And then finally, Nikki, Oliver Glasner.
I think you got to put him up there with Max there in an 8. I think the tactics, we frustrate Manchester City a lot, and that was a lot. That was a lot more prevalent during Roy Hodgson's tenure. Yeah, and he just got the tactics right. And you know what? Just for the talking with Justin Devaney at the end of the game shows that no matter what, the football don't stop. There's always ways to improve, and yeah, as Rich said, really, he looks like he loves the club. He wants to be here, and he said this. He gives that feeling in his interviews and everything. So yeah, an 8 for me.
Are there any
what changes were going to be?
potential switch ups of this? I would
Hashtag
put-
justice for Tyreek.
I'll put my one
I got-
in the hat straight away, and I would say I put Sarr down to a 6.
Why?
His touch stinks.
Okay.
And genuinely after the 50th minute where he had that burst of pace where he ran through everyone, he didn't actually do anything else after then. He was just sort
It's
of coasting.
difficult to judge him though because it's just how we played. Like we were very.
Yeah, I know, but I mean, there were
Yeah.
some times where he had the chance to take a touch and turn, but his touch was so bad that they nicked the ball off of him while the ball popped out.
His first touch was it was bad, wasn't it?
So yeah,
to
I
be
put
fair.
him down to a 6. That'd be
Right.
if I was going to change one, I'd do that.
I've got a few. I'm gonna go Munoz up to an 8,
Is Lerma going as well?
and Lerma as well. Actually, because actually, when I think about it, Munoz kept. Actually, no. Put Munoz up to a 7. I forgot he didn't close down for the cross. Sorry. I'll put Mitchell up to a 7 though, and I'll drop Ebbs down to a 4.
Ooh.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Maybe, yeah. I'm happy with this one. Maybe Devaney as a 5 because I thought that apart from his defensive work, I don't think he did too much. But I genuinely think for the first sprint that Devaney did, he did more defensive work than Eze did the whole game. So yeah, it's quite a good screenshot actually. Look, we've got all of our players in the one screen. You can just see Nketiah's forehead at the bottom there.
Oh, it's terrible. It's terrible.
Oh no.
Can we
By-
talk about?
By the way, before sorry Tim, the poll is exactly 50-50 between Mateta and
Wow.
Hughes at the moment.
I like that. I mean, I think that's reflective of the, but Mitch makes a great point about Hughes being very Glasner specific improvement because the improvement under for JP started under Roy. So, I mean, but Glasner playing him in his proper position, man, he's been an absolute revelation. Can we just quickly, because I know this is very states specific here, but of course, ESPN doing like, good God, Man City is poor. And oh, how could that possibly be a second yellow for?
Yeah.
So can I give a rebuttal? I know we all agree that Lewis deserved the sending off here. But can I just, this is for Man City fans, you need to know, or at least can I beg you to consider, Rico Lewis did that to himself. He did it to himself. Not only does he, mouth off to Rob Jones, he does the thing you cannot do because it's right there. You cannot be walking at the official. You can't mouth off to the official anyway, but when you're walking at the official, you have bought yourself a yellow. You've already done it. Now you go in studs up and you're reckless. Let's call this the Lisandro Martinez rule. It should have been a red against Kamada. Just because he doesn't break Kamada's ankle doesn't mean it isn't a red. He goes in and it's reckless. He's already begging for a yellow. Oh, forget about anything that happens after that. Here's the thing. If you are playing and you're on a yellow, it is on you to not give the referee a decision. That's on you.
Yep.
I will refer you to Liverpool at Selhurst Park last season. Jordan Ayew gets sent off for the second yellow. I didn't think it was a second yellow, but you know what? Jordan puts himself in a position for the referee to make that decision because it is a niggly foul. The referee decided that Ayew was cutting off an attack, called it a cynical foul, gives him a second yellow. We end up losing 2-1. So, I don't even know where the argument is. Where's the argument? He did it to himself. It's maddening. Sorry.
Yeah.
What I found funny, someone on Twitter put a screenshot after the ball's gone of it looking like Chalobah stood on Rico Lewis.
Right.
Like,
Right.
Idiot.
Right. And this is what Jason Cundy did on
you
TalkSport
beat me to
last
it.
night.
Damn it. I was going to bring this up, Tim.
Okay, go, Nikki.
I
Just
was going to
go.
bring this up. So TalkSport's Jason Cundy brings this up. It's a non-decision. That's a direct quote. It's a non-decision.
Right. Yes.
Bruv, shut up.
Yeah, seriously.
Shut up, you utter. I can't. It's not even watershed.
Yeah.
I'm not going to do it.
Hey Nikki, say shut up, you waste man. If you know, you know.
I don't. Yeah, Tim is exactly right. You're already on a yellow. My point of evidence is the Ipswich game. Czech got a yellow. What did Glasner do? Half time. Boom. You're off.
Takes him off. Right. Exactly.
Jefferson Lerma comes on. It might just be manager specific tactics, or maybe they ran out of stoppages for substitutions, or whatever that stupid rule is. yeah, Rico Lewis, like, granted, he loves a goal against us.
Sure does. Yep.
Which I will say I think is directly caused by Nathan, because Nathan put in a message in the chat saying, "Oh, Rico, something about Rico Lewis," and boom, he scores. So Nate Judge might be a thing. Yeah, it's ridiculous. Can somebody, either you guys here or someone in the chat, explain Pep Guardiola's post match interview? Because I don't know if you've seen it.
It's really cool. It's really cool.
And the interview's like, "What do you mean by that?" And he just goes, "It's Rico Lewis."
I mean, one thing that I thought was really funny about it, and it was said on Match of the Day. I don't know if you guys watched Match of the Day, but they said something that I thought was quite funny. They said that if that was deemed to be a red card offence by Chalobah, then Man City would have gotten a penalty for it. So because it was a second yellow and not a straight red, VAR couldn't have gotten involved. But because it's in our box, and historically, I think it was against Bournemouth a few years ago when Mamadou Sakho kicked through the ball was gone, but the follow through hit the player. He was still sent off. So this could be done in the same way, couldn't it? It's still a follow through, but because Lewis, being an idiot, put himself in that situation, that's what made the ref give him that second yellow. But if it was seen as a straight red from Chalobah to him as a follow through, Man City would have gotten a penalty.
Yeah.
That's where the rules start to get really stupid.
Yeah. The only
Premier
thing
League
about
rules are
that,
stupid anyway.
well, the point that Cundy was making, the only part of it that even made any sense whatsoever, if it's, and I think he's wrong about this, but I'll modify it and say he thinks if it's a second yellow, it can change the match. So can't you review it? I think the answer to that is absolutely not, because then if you're doing that, then you're completely screwing up the game. But I wouldn't mind. I really wouldn't mind if there is a moment where, like, all right, I'm about to give a second yellow here. Can you do the version of, like, take 15 seconds and do the booth review and say, I'm about to give a second yellow here. Anything you guys saw, ask your linesman, ask the booth, anything here that I should be aware of before I give this second yellow. Once the second yellow is given, I am not having those being reviewed. But if you want to ask for help for 15 seconds, by all, go on, big man, ask for it. That's fine. I think that's okay. But no, man. I mean, what nonsense. It's just, yeah, it's frustrating. I had less polite words. I'll just say it was frustrating.
Okay, right. Before we wrap up with comments, Nikki, I'll give you the last talking point. Eddie Nketiah. Look, we know he's not a 10. He is not a 10. What point may or may not, or what point may we see him play up front? Even if it means he comes on for Mateta to give Mateta a bit of rest or something. Do you think that's ever going to happen?
It would need a JP Mateta injury. And I don't just mean, he's like just got a leg cramp or something. No, we're talking an injury that he needs to come off. He can't just be on the sideline being treated by the physio. No, it would take an injury to take Mateta out to bring Nketiah into the starting lineup up front.
Even against
There's the
Arsenal in
line.
the League Cup?
Yeah, I would have thought he would have played in the cup.
I think he'll play in the cup, but I think
so.
I think
Glasner wants to win this.
Glasner is gonna.
Yeah.
I think Glasner's probably gonna go during that week and be like, look, keep your fitness, JP, because you're doing double duty. You're doing 2 games.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Also, just Nicky just reminded me of something. You know, Will Hughes started every game this week. He started 3 games in a week, and he's still playing like that on the third game.
I said he's the one that won't be dropped. You can't drop him.
No. Yeah.
Yeah, there's a problem where Wharton's back. You know, if Wharton and Decore are both back, what the hell do we do?
Issue again.
We'll go Wharton Hughes. I guarantee it, because he knows that works.
Yeah.
Do you think so? You think Wharton starts at Brighton?
I think he'll be on the bench.
That's what I
Yeah.
think too.
Yeah,
I think
he'll
I
go
think it'll
Lerma
be
again.
I think it'll be Lerma Hughes
Lerma and
because
Hughes again, yeah.
I think those two can give Brighton a problem in
Or
in
it
the
could
middle
be
of the park.
Decore, or it could be Decore Hughes. Because Decore
Yeah.
didn't play at all yesterday, so that's an extra week's rest.
Decore likes to get himself nearly sent off against Brighton,
Yeah,
though,
I
doesn't he?
think isn't. Please correct me if I'm wrong, but if Decore gets another yellow, is that not a one-game suspension for him? So I
I
think
will
Is it?
double check that for
Please
you.
do,
I
'cause I
don't
think-
think so, because I don't think he's played enough games to get to that point yet.
Oh, okay.
I'll double check for you.
Because
though.
I know I said this on the Ipswich game. He's moving like Mile Jedinak settings. He's constantly just collecting yellows again. He's moving like season 1. check.
He's only got one yellow card this year,
Wow. Okay. There you go.
and that was against Ipswich. He should have got 2. He should have got 2 in that one game.
Before we wrap up, one
Actually,
more
let me
thing.
check the cup first. I haven't checked the cup.
Whilst you're doing that,
No, only one yellow all season.
I think all of us here at Eagle Eyed Football are definitely like with every other fan base around the country wishing Michail Antonio
Yeah.
the very, very best
Yeah.
in his recovery.
for sure.
I think everyone is there hoping, sending their best wishes and prayers to him. I think we'd like to do the same.
For sure.
Absolutely,
100%.
absolutely. And I only found out when I was walking home from the ground. I immediately called JC. Joe, have you heard the news? Stuff like,
Yeah, I heard it.
I was waiting for Bossman to load up my 6 wings and chips. What?
sorry, I read your bill. Sorry.
Yeah, I was sitting there having a good old chat with Bossman. Said, "Yeah, man, 2-2 is a good point." And he was like, "Oh yeah, sick. Do you want, do you want drum or not?" I was like, "Half and half, innit?"
Was like,
And then
what do you want your
I
food
get
to
call
go?
from Rich. I'm like, "He's just ruining it, man." So you know what I did?
Really-
I got 3 barbecue wings as well because he ruined it.
We do wish Antonio well, though. Honestly,
100%.
like, we are happy that he's that conscious. But obviously, this is
Yes.
going to take a lot of time to recover and heal.
I think West Ham released a statement saying he's got a fractured leg or something like that.
Yeah.
So he'll
Mhm.
be out of
His
football
season's
for a while.
definitely
But
done.
yeah, he'll be out for a while. But I hope that he can come back for the next season, and
Yeah,
that's just got to be really hard for him because the World Cup's
Yeah.
not too far away.
Yeah.
And it's going to be a big World Cup because Jamaica are going to be in it, and he probably you'd 100% want to play in it.
Absolutely.
And it's probably a big thing for how much safety's come a long way in cars as well. Because if you've seen the car,
Yeah,
I'm surprised you're still alive after
Yeah.
that. That's a head
Mhm.
like the car's taken a beating. But
Jeez.
if he's still conscious,
It
like he might have had a
really bad.
broken leg, but still, it's amazing to see that the car could
He's
do
conscious,
that really and keep him.
Was it a
well.
head-on collision? Is that what you just said?
To me it looks like
looked like it.
his car sort of spun around and he sort of like side swiped a tree. So like
Oh.
half of the driver's side is pretty much gone.
it's gone. It is completely just
Wow.
gone. But yeah,
Is it a Ferrari? Was it? Is that a right-hand drive or?
No, so it depends on what country you live in. So here, their Ferraris will be right-hand drive, and that was on the right-hand side of the car that was smashed up.
Yeah, that it was totaled.
It's gone. Tim, if you have a look, the car's basically in half.
Oh my goodness. Wow. Well, fortunate for him that he's still with us and
Oh,
not,
100%.
of course.
I mean, that's wow. Jeez. Yeah, speedy recovery. We'll pray for his recovery here. That's terrible. Sorry to hear it.
I'm just going to email you the image. If that's if you want it, by the way.
Yeah, go ahead, please.
Hmm.
JC, let's go through some more comments.
Earth says, "Is that the second car accident that Antonio's been in?" I seem to remember him being in another one a few years ago in a Lamborghini. But I don't know. Footballers seem to not do very well with cars. Like I remember what Grealish did, and yeah, it's long. Durf says, "Is like
Let-
Suarez."
When you find him,
Yeah, Durfez here says it's like Suarez crash. I don't actually remember what happened there, but I just remember he was never the same playing as a footballer since then. Nketiah has to play at striker, and I don't know why he's always played wide right. Take Chalobah off, play a back four and a middle three. Guardiola feels the pressure. When we were singing "You're Getting Sacked in the Morning."
Yeah, I just see it, Rich. My goodness, that is
That's bad, isn't it?
And
Oh my
Chandy's on Muppet, and the second yellow decisions are so nuts. Obviously, if you lunge, you're already on a caution. You're on your way to the showers.
that is a fact.
That's it.
Right, it's been a mad week, a very busy week. So we have a little bit of a break this week, as in a lot less to do. But we do have the WSO lowdown show tomorrow, which we're dreading doing.
That's not
After
going to
office.
be. That's
Sad.
not going to be. Yeah.
Yeah.
Rich and I will be around tomorrow, guys, with the WSO and Academy lowdown. We are not going to be positive. Largely.
Yeah, it was terrible. JC's tactical back on Tuesday. that'll be
Tacticals on
for-
Tuesday. Preview, not exactly sure whether it'll be Thursday or Friday.
Okay.
It could be Saturday because our game's on Sunday, but
Good
I
point.
reckon it'll probably be. I reckon a good day's Thursday.
Yeah.
Game on Sunday. I will be there. There will be the first Brighton
Nice.
vlog on Eagle Eyed Football because I finally got a ticket.
Mickey, do we then?
It's on a Sunday, so you can watch it on TV.
Hold that thought.
Oh, yeah.
Let me see if I'm working. I don't think I'm working. Give me a second.
We might have to try and go back to them.
Oh my lord! What another stressful.
Yeah,
That's
absolutely.
not gonna be great.
But yeah,
what would
guys,
it be?
Okay.
big up to all of you. Thank you for all your support. Smash the like button on the way out if you haven't done.
I'm not
Be
working.
free. Right, we'll sort something out. We will
I'll
sort
make the
something
thumbnail.
out.
Oh boy.
And also, only a little bit more time, a few more weeks, and Transfer Weekly will be back and in full swing.
That's gonna be interesting.
And I'm gonna be
Big
calling
transfer.
for full
It'll be
back.
the most intense one, I think.
Gonna be a
Yeah,
big
all I'm
transfer.
saying, yeah, it's gonna be long. Let's just really hope that there's not enough rumors that I don't have to do it daily. Because if it's daily, I'll have no life. I have no life whatsoever.
Well, considering we're only potentially looking at two places, it's going to be a very boring window, I think.
But a little bit of insight. Glasner has said he wants the players that he wants. He's not going to say any names because he said that if I name names, those players get a lot more expensive.
Yep.
But he's looking to get all of our business done within the first week.
God, I mean, God bless him, man. Get that done. That
is
would be
optimistic.
it is super optimistic. Although I do
To
think
do that, we'd have to have the deal pretty much wrapped up now.
I think that
Yeah.
well, I'll say that I think we're probably going to get SA done. I think that's going to happen, but that's not the business that we need for this window, even though I do think it's smart business.
Yeah, and I think he's going to get loaned straight back to Mill anyway.
Yep. Yes, exactly.
But then that whole conversation of SC, Raksaki, what happens?
Oh yes,
But the thing
That
is, a
could potentially be a
little
stream
bit
itself.
of a little bit of a like a different mindset that Chairman said to me earlier. He said that
Why do we complain about that?
granted when nowhere near PSR, selling Jez for 20. If we sell him for 20 million, that's 20 million pure profit.
Mm.
I mean,
So-
look, if we were to do that, if you get SA and you sell Jess at 20 million, the only way that makes any sense whatsoever is if it has a 25% sell on clause.
Yeah.
It has to have
Or first reviews.
yeah,
something
or,
along those lines.
yes, Or you
But
could do like
I'm
a
inclined
Chelsea.
to give Jez a shot though, because in the
I
Prem he's
want
actually
to
looked
give him a shot.
okay.
Yeah,
Same.
I want to give him a shot.
Same.
Cool.
Well,
I
once
think
again,
we'll round it out
it's-
there.
Yeah, we'll do that because otherwise we're going to go into a whole discussion about squad depth and yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, guys, big up. Listen, please smash the like button on the way out. Subscribe if you are new, and as always, guys, up the Palace.
Up the Palace.
Eagles.